In this town, not only am I hunting for drama, I am hunting for rich daddies.
They say life is what you make it. Well, I say make it full of bears, drinking bourbon, talking about Bravo.
Hello! I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear. And welcome to the Real Housebears.
Bear, I don't care about your gray hair. I don't care about your wrinkles. I don't care that you're a stink bear after the gym. I only care about your weekend D and your heart.
Oh, no.
I'm Jamie Lee Curtis, and I've had clean BM since 2007. No. Thank you, Activia.
But you didn't say podcast.
And I'm also here for your podcast. The weekend D threw me a little bit.
It threw us all.
So I only care about your weekend D, your heart, and your podcast.
And your podcast. That was... I wanted to argue about some of those things, but I was too busy laughing. That is so funny. Well, you know, we surprised ourselves, and we are in it early this week.
Hello? Am I here? Is this real?
Yes, we're going to try to start getting these episodes out at least 1 or 2 days after it airs.
Yes, and try to be weekly as often as possible.
Yes.
It's
waiting till the last second isn't fun.
No.
And I don't think anybody wants to go back and relive the past episode after watching it like a week ago.
Yeah, so we're going to do our best. We feel you, and we are here for you.
Yeah, nobody's been leaving any reviews, so hopefully this will make people leave reviews.
But you know what? We are horrible because a wonderful person named Colleen, Lady Colleen on IG.
Like a couple episodes ago, I asked about if Sutton's stress roller works, rolling the eyes and stuff, and I asked our very loyal viewers if they could write in if they know if it's true or not, and this lovely person did.
Yeah, back June 29th. That's how lame we are. But every week we're like, let's remember to talk about it on the podcast, and then every week as soon as ever left, like, oh man, we forgot to mention it on the podcast. But thank you for calling, for letting us know about the magic uplift massaging beauty roller. Mm-hmm. Colleen's been using one for about 6 years now, so you know her skin is smooth.
It's toy.
You look so gorgeous and stunning.
And she said that the stones and the roller help massage your face in a way that improves skin tone, get your blood flowing, and improve the overall health with the face.
That makes sense.
We were wondering if it helped with puffiness on certain eyes.
I figured it helped move blood around.
Yeah, Colleen wasn't I can't speak specifically to the puffiness, probably because, Colleen probably has perfect eyes, and she doesn't have to worry about it. But it did look like on Sutton that it helped.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Sutton, I was listening to Bitch Sesh this week while we were at the gym, our rival podcast. I'm totally kidding. They even know who we are.
I know.
But they were talking about the temperature of Bravo viewers on Sutton.
Oh, yeah.
Like her or not. And, Casey Wilson was like, I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop. She's like, I still hate Sutton. I think she's a horrible person. I think she's self-centered, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know how the rest of the world is feeling about her. And I think they generally came to the consensus that everyone still hates Sutton.
I am so not in a mood for Sutton. Not at all.
But I don't hate Sutton anymore.
I don't hate her, but I don't like her either.
I feel like Diana has been undeservedly mean to her.
Yeah.
And so I kind of see Sutton's side of things, and I've got even some support for her coming up a little bit later.
You do?
Oh, some good hardcore evidence.
Oh my.
Towards her character. So I'm so surprised that, her first season, I was like, I can't stand her. She's awful.
And then I liked her, and then I hated her, and now I'm just whatever. I'm indifferent about her now.
Yeah, so I was surprised that the world still hates Sutton when I was I'm not Team Sutton, and she's by no means one of my favorite housewives, but her and Garcelle really are carrying the show.
Yeah. all that's going
Kyle
on.
Richards dips her fingers in everything.
Same with Lisa.
But they're really, Sutton and Garcelle are the stories.
Yeah, right now they are. And Erika.
Well, yeah, and Erika, but
Now.
maybe not for the right reasons.
Well, why don't we tell everybody what we're doing this weekend?
Oh, it's Pie and Beer Day.
Well, it's actually Pioneer Day, but for us sinners that aren't Mormons, we call it Pie and Beer Day.
Yeah, so they do celebrate, like it's an official holiday.
Yeah.
Actually, when we moved to Salt Lake City, we actually moved in on Pioneer Day, not realizing that it was an official observed holiday. So it's, obviously when the Mormon settlers came and
Pioneered
over their way over
They
to Utah.
pioneered over there, and then they pioneered over here, pioneered over yonder.
And now they're pioneering everywhere. But nonetheless,
Us sinners are going to be doing Pie and Beer Day because
Pie
that's what we
and Beer
do.
Day. So we're going to, for the very first time in our lives, in my 50 years and your
never.
30 years,
Yeah, 30-something years.
we've never tried making a pie.
No. And we're going to make it like a bourbon apple pie from our
Yeah.
Maker's Mark cookbook.
Yeah, my beauty got me a Maker's Mark cookbook for Christmas.
I sure did.
And this is the first recipe that we're making out of it, and we're tackling a pie.
Yeah, well,
Boy, are we brave.
listen, we just have to follow the instructions. That's all we have to
Yes, and then we're spending Pie and Beer Day with Dre, who
do. Part of Druther Hardenwood.
Yes, who you all know from Beauty Lab, and Paul, who you all know from us constantly saying Druther Hardenwood and Paul.
Yes.
So-
Snow on the roof, fire in the furnace. It's the only way I could describe them.
So they're our new adopted family, and we're really excited to hang out with them.
I can't wait. I love the weight of those words you just said.
Do you
was a
like
good
the
weight.
weight
It
of
was a
those
good
words?
weight, yeah.
The weight of the words were about the weight of my love for Druther Hardenwood and Paul.
There's a lot. It's heavy.
And I'm heavy these days myself.
So stupid.
That was good. That was good.
Did you like
did
that?
Really
I
good.
did really good. I had to make
And
up
you
for the
listen-
last, 3 episodes
At
where
least
I just
2.
butchered.
And I do. We both. I will expect, I won't take 95% like Sutton does, but I'll take part of the responsibility.
Like 25%.
Something like that.
Well, I want to have a good marriage household.
You will find yourself in divorce court.
Well, if you want to have a good marriage, then we need one of those devices that Lisa Rinna has at the beginning.
That lasers off her little chinny chin chin hairs.
But it totally looks like a dildo.
Well, they do. It totally looked like those. It's got like electroshocker thing, and people do use that for sex play. Like I can't remember what they're called. It's just like a little laser wand thing.
Ouch, that just hurt my
And it just
ween.
it's like getting static electricity shocked. It's
I
not
do
fun.
not want anyone to do that to me anywhere where I'm going to be naked. That just hurt my ween. So Garcelle, Rinna, and Erika all have Omicron. It's like, no more COVID, please.
Omicron sounds like such a bad guy on Transformers.
Well, my music fraternity was Delta Omicron, so that's what I was thinking.
You are the start.
I'm patient zero.
You are patient zero.
So Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen
Oh,
herself.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis! Oh my god!
Yeah.
And she looks so good.
Halloween Scream Queen.
She looks so good.
She does look really good, but it's
Well, in the movies, the recent Halloween movies, she
they
looks
make
so
her
haggard.
look haggard. Well,
Oh.
she's been having to deal with Michael Myers for so long.
Yeah, but it makes you think, oh, girl, what happened to Jamie Lee? And then you see her
her in real life, and she looks
in
great.
real life, she looks beautiful.
Listen,
I love
Activia's
that-
doing great for her BMs.
Right, and I love that she is owning her gray hair and owning her age, but just being the best version of herself at that age. I'm like,
The key to
you
looking
go.
good is good BMs.
And
good, healthy BMs.
That is, well, we'll talk more about that later. We'll talk more about that later. But I thought it was kind of funny, like, everyone knows that Jamie Lee has made public statements about owning her gray hair and owning her age.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kyle, as soon as she shows up, Kyle's like, I dyed my hair.
Oh, like, I have gray hair.
I think she said she used, like, that colored mousse. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you're so rich. Why are you using, like, Revlon colored mousse or something like that?
And I'm like, you're asking Jamie Lee Curtis, who has a full head of hair that's
I know, I
gray.
thought that was so weird, but Jamie Lee is so sweet and so nurturing, know. You can tell that she considers Kyle kind of like a daughter, maybe a younger cousin or something.
I think daughter. I mean, she knew her when she was really young.
Kyle and Jamie Lee are very charitable towards Children's Hospital.
Yes.
Jamie herself has a charity called My Hand in Yours, where all the proceeds go to Children's Hospitals.
The proceeds.
The proceeds.
Not what they've spent already.
Right.
Gotcha.
We may now proceed.
Okay.
I thought it was, I'm having COVID PTSD here. I know that COVID's not over, but you and I particularly have not dealt with COVID since the filming of season 3 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yes.
So I've felt, a little bit more relaxed in my own skin, and we never leave the house anyway. But now seeing all of this, like, do we hug? I remember that.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it.
There was a little bit of PTSD from this, but yeah, now we're dealing with monkeypox, so now I don't even want to be in the same pool as people.
This has now become a medical emergency.
The ladies are completely starstruck. Sutton even is willing to give Jamie Lee her purse.
I would too.
She's
I'd be
like,
like,
"Do you
here,
want
do you
it?"
want it? It looks great with your outfit.
I thought that was so funny. But, oh my God, what is Kyle thinking? Seating Diana next to Sutton?
And when she was saying it out loud, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together
Me
until
either.
they got there.
Me either, but they fixed it real quick.
Yeah.
She moved Cherie next to Sutton.
Yeah.
Which I love me some Cherie. But she's having some eyelash issues.
Listen, gluing her eye in that dim lighting at the door, you guys need to go to the bathroom and do that.
Yeah,
And for obvious reasons, the huge glob came out and almost glued her eyes shut.
And I guess I should have assumed that women do carry around eyelash glue, but eyelashes, have really become a thing over the past several years, and they had been for a very long time. So I was like, all right, for Sutton having the eyelash glue. But Jamie Lee to the rescue.
Q-tips in hand.
She can kill Michael Myers, and she can fix your eyelash glue.
Girl! Medical emergency averted.
She's like, I need a Q-tip and some duct tape. Let's go.
In the middle of her doing it, she's like, bring it, Michael!
She has a club in the back of her bag. In that bag of goodies. I brought you a dog leash, I brought you a candle, and I brought you a club. So it was so weird that Dorit is like whispering to Diana across the table, how was your lunch with Sutton?
Oh my God, it wasn't that good.
And Diana is very harsh. She's real harsh.
She's like, I had to go home and take like a medical shower, like one of those skin peels.
Sutton offends my space.
Just, my goodness.
Your licking lips offend my space. The snow outside looks really sad.
I know.
There's like no snow on the house. There's no snow anywhere else.
It's just a mound of like hardened snow.
Yeah, from the day before. I was like, this doesn't work. But I was really surprised that this luncheon at Kyle's house was just the Housewives. I thought this was going to be like a charity thing where there are other random strangers there. I didn't understand.
Well, they got to be on TV.
And I still don't really understand why it happened. Other than to just talk about the charity on TV and for Jamie Lee
and hand out goodie bags. This is what I'm saying about all the proceeds going to it. Who spent all the money on all those
They were probably
goodies?
donated. They were probably donated.
Bull.
No, I would say they were donated. I would say that Jamie Lee is very charitable
She probably
from
bought
the heart.
all of them.
I'd say she's charitable from the heart and would not be involved in a charity that wasn't truly helping people.
I just don't really know why we need cups and leashes and stuff.
Like I said,
I guess it's to like open conversation about it, but I'm like, you're doing it right now.
And
on
for
TV.
people to say that we're giving you free stuff to generate buzz, and that's how we're being charitable. Well, Jamie Lee shows all the women all the products from the gift bags, and Dorit is having a moment.
A lavender candle.
It's very chic.
These are the hats.
So chic.
Little snugglies.
Really very chic.
At this point, Jamie Lee Curtis could show Dorit a dirty old tissue and she would say, it's so chic. Oh my God.
Dorit is such a kiss ass. Oh my gosh, she could not be so far. Like, I don't even see Dorit anymore. She is so far up Jamie's butt. Fresh, clean butt from Activia.
It is so funny to me. She's just like, oh my God, it's so chic.
A dog leash is chic.
And a candle.
That Tervis, that's chic. Okay, Dorit.
But Kyle is donating $25,000 to the Kyle Richards Jamie Lee Fund at the Children's Hospital.
Boom. Paid for merchandise right there. Boom.
And then Diana's like, all right, well, I'll match it. Right there on the spot.
Awesome.
That's
She's
great.
got enough money. I mean, she was wasting $87 million a year on just a view.
Despite your cynical view, I do feel like some of these women actually enjoy being charitable and helping people and showing their appreciation for what they have.
That's the truth.
So all of a sudden, you don't believe in charity because schools are broke.
It's true.
I mean, it is true, but some people who have money truly
if you're
are.
super rich, then you won't have to worry. Then you shouldn't mind getting taxed extra because it's going to the greater
All
good
right,
of America.
we are not a political podcast, and if we have any rich people listening to us, I don't want to have an opinion about that. Rich people, y'all keep your money all you want. Just keep listening. You keep that money. You let those schools be poor. Just keep listening.
We love it all.
Oh my goodness.
So Jamie Lee leaves as soon as dinner is over. I'm like, she is smart.
Oh yeah.
She can already see like there's things going on.
She got to
around.
already tell there's some like beef between that lady and that lady.
She's like, I'm not sticking around for this. But you can tell that she really knows the business.
Well, she started it.
No, I mean reality TV. She
Oh,
knows.
reality TV.
She doesn't know the business of reality TV, but she knows television.
She knows what's going on.
And
She knows
Hollywood.
producers. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's savvy.
I kind of wish I've never been behind the scenes because I can just
You could tell. You could see a lot of it.
Yeah.
A little bit of the mystery is gone.
a little bit, not
A
much.
little bit.
Because I don't want to insinuate that it's not all real. It is truly real.
But it is very provoked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop it right now.
Dorit joins Sutton and Cherie and brings up the lunch with Diana. Well, Dorit brings it up. She's so curious about this. Like, Dorit is so curious about this. Cherie asks Sutton, she's like, why are you always in trouble, girl? And Sutton's like, well, just because I don't filter myself very well. But again, I don't feel like I'm on Team Sutton for Sutton versus Diana. I do
too.
I think Sutton's trying her best, and Diana's just not accepting it.
And some people are just kind of trying to make Sutton like dumb herself down. And it's like, guys, if they're not meant to be friends, they're not meant to be friends. But you could tell that Sutton was trying.
But you know what? Dorit reminds us that Sutton really did start off that conversation by going, so you're supposed to be on bed rest and you're here, so we need to clear that up.
Yeah.
And so, whereas Sutton feels like Diana was mocking her miscarriages, Diana felt that Sutton was mocking her. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what, Dorit, you're right. Look at Dorit being the voice of reason here. That's true. That's very true. So that mocking is really not an argument anymore, as far as I'm concerned. Thanks to Dorit.
Good job, Dorit.
And then in the other room, Kyle, Diana, and Crystal are talking, and apparently Crystal had made a social media post recently about her eating disorder, and Kyle asked some really difficult questions about Crystal's eating. Like, she gets in there.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Kyle has had an eating disorder herself.
And I didn't realize there's so many different layers of an eating disorder. There's some people that eat and purge, and then there's some people that don't eat, period. And there's some people that purge and then hate themselves for it.
And then there are
won't
people
eat.
who just simply eat too much. That's an eating disorder as well.
That too, yeah. It's just there's a lot of eating disorders out there, and it's stressful.
But here we go. Sutton, I'm surprised I'm coming to your defense like this, girl, but here we go. Why is it okay for Kyle to say, well, I've had an eating disorder too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about our experiences. When it's not
Let me
okay.
ask you hard questions about it.
When it's not okay for Sutton to say, well, I've had miscarriages too.
I'm going to say it again until you can hear me.
Why is it okay for Kyle to say, well, I've had an eating disorder disorder too. Let's talk about our experiences.
Snap, snap, snap.
People aren't mad at Kyle about it.
You better write. You better write it on Twitter.
I'm going to.
You should. How is it okay for Kyle to say that she's got an eating disorder too to somebody when Sutton can't say she's had a miscarriage?
Yeah, and I didn't hear tone in Sutton's saying, well, I've had miscarriages too. So I feel like it's just because people don't like Sutton and that's their they're being hateful.
Mean girling.
Some people are really sensitive when you say, well, I've had that. Some people really do take that as, oh, yeah, fine, bring it back to you.
If somebody already doesn't like you, that's what they're going to do.
But you're like, no, Crystal like won't even eat pasta because it'll trigger her.
Which is a big thing in the eating disorder community who don't want to eat. Like, pasta is like a sin.
Because it's carbs.
Because it's so carby.
It's carbs. And then, if you have like an Alfredo sauce in it, holy cow, it's a heart attack in a plate.
Yeah.
So I felt bad because especially right before we watched that episode, we had pasta for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, I'm going to go bad.
Well, I mean, and eating disorders are no joke. Like, if anybody starts bringing up an eating disorder, it's really serious.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and Crystal has a really big moment, like wishing that she could look in the mirror and like what's looking back at her.
Yeah, she hates being in her body, and she just feels like crap all the time. I felt really bad for her.
But the worst part is considering that she might pass something like that along on to her kids.
Yeah,
like
that's a
back
fear.
in New Jersey, Jackie's kids were noticing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're noticing her eating habits and how she was only eating salads.
And that can very easily translate to, oh, look at my body now.
Mom did it, so how come I can't do it?
Yeah.
Oof.
So that's a valid concern, Crystal, and I really felt bad for you.
Diana's lips look so swollen. I can't.
They are. She can't quit licking them and pursing them.
Like, in this episode, like, right here at this conversation, she, like, goes, oh, I'm so sorry. And her lips go out, and I'm, whoa. They hurt. They're so swollen. I know you're doing it. You're really good at it.
Maybe we can get our social media team to put some of that on our socials.
Shut up.
So we got a new confessional look for Kyle, and I love it, and I hate it all. I did write "You Better Work," so there was something about it that I really the '80s.
It was
vibe,
just the big orange fried hair, not quite '80s glam, but more of like '90s glamour shot kind of frizzle.
I was like, I love it, and I hate it, and I love it.
Oh, I know. I
I
had no idea what to think about it. I think in general, I'm like, you get it. Go.
It's like I hate it, but I want to touch myself. I guess it wins. So Kyle and Crystal and Diana go join Sutton, Cherie, and Dorit, and they're like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Well, we were talking about your lunch.
In front of everybody. Let's find out what's going on now.
Well, if we're going to talk about it, it's best that everyone's in the room. But Sutton rules this scene. She handles this conversation beautifully. She's like, you know what? I just think that Diana is not willing right now to accept anything. And that's a very vague statement. Mm-hmm. She didn't say, I don't think that Diana is willing to accept responsibility. That could mean she's not willing to accept anything that I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice and vaguely stated, and Diana even agreed with her. Mm-hmm. And Diana explains that last week, I was like, hasn't it been like 8 months? Was it 8 weeks? When was it? And then now we find out that everyone else is kind of the same way.
Yes.
They're like, I thought it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it turns out that Diana really has been sick. When they went to Mexico in particular, she said she started bleeding again.
Well, and she's also trying to live her life again. She wanted to go out and have fun, and it overdid it for her body.
Right.
Like, that's completely logical. I do like that Sutton says that she took 95% of the blame for the rocky start, and she's there whenever Diana wants to have a friendship with her.
Yeah, she was very gracious.
And I was like, that was perfect.
Yes.
It kind of shocked me. I was like, oh.
And I was just so thankful to hear timeout on the Diana and Sutton.
Yeah, like just a timeout.
The world rejoices.
Let's stop forcing things.
So after this, Rinna and Erika are finishing up quarantine. They're excited to go to Diana's Christmas party coming up. We're reminded for a moment that the magazines and news sources are still just rehashing old Tom and Erika stories. But we do find out that Erika and Tom do talk on occasion. And that Tom,
But it's like, it's hit or miss.
yeah, he's
Like,
not always
gone.
alert. But this kind of blew my mind for a minute. They're not divorced yet, and if they had gotten divorced, she would have to be paying him alimony.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'd be like, okay, fine, I'll stay.
Yeah, I was like, we're barely talking.
I'm already hurting. COVID's happening. Let's just let's keep it at this.
So Diana and Asher meet party planners at their house, but it seems like the party planners were there before they were. Like, they drove up,
Yeah,
and the party
that's
planners were there.
that's what it looked like.
I was like, that was
It looked like the party planners got there. They got set up with producers. They got their mics all set up, and then they brought them in later.
Right. Diana didn't experience Christmas growing up, so she got her real taste of Christmas when she moved to London.
Man, I just thought that growing up with holidays was just universal.
Well, they just didn't have money for presents.
No, she said that in Bosnia they weren't allowed to have.
Oh, you're right.
Because of the dictatorship, you weren't allowed to have any holidays.
I didn't think about that.
Oh my gosh! You can only imagine being a kid seeing what magic Christmas is on TV in United States, and you can't do that.
That would be
you realize
torture.
All the times when you were a kid growing up with Christmas, how it just seems like it's so universal. Like every kid has holidays,
and it's one of those few moments when nowadays it makes you happy to be American. We can't always feel great about being American, but that's one of those times we're like, okay, it's not so bad sometimes, you know?
Oh, I can't wait for the holidays.
It's all about, yes, let's go to Kathy Hilton's house.
Oh my gosh, Kathy Hilton's house is so over the top. I love it so much.
It's literally a winter wonderland.
And she has I don't know, I could only imagine working at that house and listening to Kathy talk to herself throughout the day.
Well, first of all, she is exhausted right now.
Oh my God, I'm a mess. All right. Okay.
Like, she cannot even breathe.
Just walking down the steps.
She's so exhausted. But you know what? I think she's been dieting for Paris's wedding. She looked real, not that she was ever, plus size, but she looks real super slim right now. So she was probably like getting wedding.
And she seems very overwhelmed because apparently her gorgeous mansion is falling apart.
Bless her heart. She's got 83 people helping her, and she's still overwhelmed.
This whole scene is like a fever dream.
Is this real?
Well, she's decorated for Architectural Digest. How beautiful.
I know that's beautiful, but like this whole scene of Kathy Hilton, Digest, beautiful, like page spread. That tree was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And then the lunch. And then the conversation at lunch. And then it was over. And I'm like, what meaning did this have?
You literally just went, did that just end?
I didn't know what happened. I was like, was there something important?
I think it was just an introduction to putting Kathy back on the show.
Okay.
I think that's really, it's so and to
after it's over, I was like, did that really happen?
Or maybe we just can't live without the content here. Maybe we just can't live without knowing that Kathy Hilton will make a social media post from her iPad to get all of the world to get Kyle to call her.
I love it that when Kyle comes in, Kathy's like, you are so hard to get a hold of. And she's like, well, where's your phone? She's like, oh, I lost it.
Yeah.
It's like... And then she shows the receipts of like how many times she's called Kathy, and Kathy did not respond to it at all, any of her messages or phone calls, because for one, her phone's gone. And when she called it, it went straight to voicemail. That means it's been missing for so long that the battery ran out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good luck finding it, Paula. Good luck finding that
if
phone.
you're Kathy, it's Paula. But if you speak, want to pronounce it correctly, it's Paula.
Paula. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But this just is insane.
And also, the baked potato meal.
I've never seen one person that had that much caviar in my whole life.
With
This
100 pounds of caviar.
It's a fever dream. This never happened.
And a little spoon for every condiment.
Yes.
And again, lots of caviar.
Like, listen, I could watch somebody eat potatoes all day long. But this was so bizarre that I just didn't know what was happening. And once it was over, I felt like I came out of some kind of haze.
And who urinated on the couch?
And yeah,
who urinated on the sofa?
I can't go back to this fever dream. It's too much. I need out. Get me out of here. That is so much caviar. And do you think that I don't know how that would
we
taste.
talked about how we thought about caviar on the last episode.
I don't know how that would taste.
I can't.
I don't know how that's a meal.
Now, I wasn't as shocked that it was a baked potato meal, because, you know, you and I will even have, like, baked potato with chili,
With
in
chili,
it,
yeah.
or something like that. Or you know,
Party
back
meal.
in the day before carbs were a thing, people would eat go on baked potato diets.
It's hot. That's hot. I like that.
Back in the 80s, you were avoiding fat.
So carbs are fine.
Yes, and now it's avoiding carbs. So, thanks.
That was rough.
Now we're getting to the Christmas party, this gorgeous Christmas party, and Diana's gorgeous, like, silver snakeskin tracksuit.
Yes.
I loved that.
I loved all the
tracksuit.
trees. I loved what they were trying to do. Like, it was just like a forest wonderland. I loved that.
It was beautiful. There are some COVID invite limitations, which we also know is a real thing. That drink, the cocktail with the martini glass with the ornament inside.
Okay, wouldn't it be cute if they sprinkled a little bit of fake snow in the martini glass and then set the thing on it?
Yes, but it's still the
It was
cutest
still
thing
such
I've
a
ever
cute
seen in my
idea.
life.
The ornament in the martini glass.
Luckily, none of our local friends watch Housewives, and I'm totally stealing that idea. And
Oh yeah, be like, oh yeah, this is our idea.
Oh yeah, we totally did that. Oh, maybe I would just rather have friends who watch Housewives. Anyhow, Rinna's getting ready for the party. She's feeling better, but now Dorit's not.
She's feeling better.
Oh darn it! I was hoping I could slide right on through that.
Sorry,
and no one would
I'm so
notice.
sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna leave it in there.
Well, you know what? Also wasn't missed. Dorit got COVID.
Right.
COVID got her.
She got it.
We're dropping like flies.
She got it.
Spoke too soon.
Erika's getting ready with a little gay magic.
Yes, ma'am.
Gay magic. Gay magic. Gay magic.
You better have some gay magic. You know, she's going to drink a little tonight. She's been having fun. She's been having a blast. So she's going to drink some tonight. Probably not too much, but maybe too much.
I do love that Erika shows up in her signature pink dress and the coat made of 101 Dalmatians. I loved it.
That's amazing. Well, Diana's kids show up first, and to be honest with you, I like Enea's dress better than I like Diana's dress. I didn't feel like Diana's dress was very flattering on her, but I loved Enea's dress. I thought it was pretty hot. I guess she's in from Spain.
Well, what about Crystal coming from Mount Crumpus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
It was so short.
I loved. It's like couture Grinch.
Couture Grinch, yeah.
Couture.
So couture.
Then Erika shows up, and they get drinks right away. She's
been drinking before she got to the party.
Yeah, and again, she was like, I'm not gonna get too drunk tonight, but maybe I will.
And you know what? I had such high hopes. I was like, you're gonna do it, Erika. You are gonna get drunk, and you're not gonna make a fool of yourself. You're not gonna say something stupid. You're gonna be completely like nonchalant, Erika, on this one. I was rooting for her so hard.
That's not possible. Not possible. Not when you won. The liquor and maybe the wacky weed and the antidepressants and the sleep medication.
Yeah, I kind of had to jump off that hope.
The CBD
quick.
lotion in her privates. I mean,
I put it all over my clit and all over my vagina.
she's got too much.
Oh my
going
gosh.
on. So Kyle brings Diana a thank you gift from Tom Ford.
You get in.
Thank you. I'll take a Tom Ford thank you gift.
I'll take Tom Ford anything.
I mean, when I went to the Tom Ford store in Beverly Hills on Rodeo Drive several years ago, I wanted a bow tie. I just wanted a Tom Ford bow tie. That's all I wanted. But the bow tie itself, already pre-tied, back like 10 years ago, was $250.
And it's pre-tied. I don't like that.
I know. I like to tie my own bow tie. So I was like, number one, I'm not spending $250 on this. And number two, I don't wear ties that are pre-tied. What am I, 12? Well, kind of luckily, Sutton has tested positive as well.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Yeah, I when she put the timeout on the Diana and Sutton, I could start to breathe again.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too sad that Sutton wasn't here. But Kathy shows up.
Well, hello. Where have you been?
With a huge bottle of what, tequila?
Oh, I don't know what it was. I didn't notice. But Kathy knows Diana through Paris. So not really each other, but through Paris.
But you know what was irritating about this part? Is Diana's son doesn't even get up to fist bump Kathy. He sits in the chair and fist bumps Kathy. I'm like, that's Kathy. Like, it's also a lady. Like, I would get up to, or anybody, and I don't care if you're a lady or a guy, I'd get up from my chair to meet somebody.
Like mother, like son, rude. So we spend a moment, there's a lot of focusing on Crystal's hemline here. Like, there's a lot of, like, when they're not talking about her hemline, the camera is literally focusing on her hemline.
You love boobs, I love life.
Keep spanning right
Like, in
across
between
it.
just random moments. It's like, why are we... That's so crazy. But all right for Garcelle in the fringe with a unicorn.
That tinsel?
Yes!
Yeah, I loved it. It was cute.
Kathy almost wore the same one. But Garcelle is not bringing bad energy, even though Diana brought it to the birthday party.
And she lets everybody remembers that she remembers.
Oh, she ain't going to forget. I wonder if she's a Scorpio. Garcelle, Crystal, and Erika talk about how the holidays are all about food and how hard that is for Crystal.
Yeah.
And then Erika's like, well, you don't have to worry about food. Just poop it out. You who have struggled with an eating disorder, now let me also recommend to add taking laxatives as one of the things that you do.
Okay, from what I remember, some shows in the 90s is if you get addicted to laxatives, that can kill you too.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
sure. I don't know
that's
if it
what I
can kill you,
thought.
but I don't know the details.
It could definitely damage a lot of things
Yeah,
because you're
it
not
can't-
having normal
It can't
movements.
be good for you. And I understand the Erika thing. She's like, you don't have to purge, just poo it out.
Yeah, instead of throw it out, why don't you just poo it out? If you're gonna do it, just poo it out. And this, I'm just like, man, Erika, I had such high hopes for you to do well, but you just were even worse than I could have even imagined.
Thank you for the kind advice, but now you've given her another tool to help ruin her own life. And she just keeps going too.
Oh, and she won't stop. That's the thing. She won't. And
It's
then,
like-
and then when the chicken nuggets come out, she yells out, "Crystal, you can't have these. These are fried chicken," or whatever she said. But made it announced to everybody that Crystal has an eating disorder and that she shouldn't be eating anymore.
And then she's, I need
And
another
I
drink.
need another drink. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Erika, you are not helping my case at all.
But we also left out is that not only did Kyle ask Crystal 1,000 questions about it, now Erika. First, let me encourage you to poo, and now let me ask you 1,000 other questions about your eating disorder. Even though you had probably the same conversation with Kyle yesterday.
Oh my God.
And then, I now want to make a joke about your eating disorder.
Okay, fine, Garcelle, it's a pattern. Fine. It's obviously a pattern, and she's not doing very well. This is the third strike. And I guess she has a pattern, and maybe somebody should talk to her. I didn't want to have to agree with Garcelle, but maybe she's right.
To setting a bitch straight.
To setting the bitch straight.
Because this was insane. I had such high hope. I was really like, Erika, you got this. Fight those demons. Nope. Eat laxatives instead of throwing up. Poo it out.
Oh my gosh. That was the funniest thing you've ever said. Well, maybe not, but that was funny. Well, we would love for you all to make it a pattern of following us on our social media. What'd you think about that?
I like that very
That
much.
was good. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're the Real Housebears. On Twitter, we are Real Housebears. And you can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
You can also find us on YouTube at the Real Housebears podcast. Yes.
Something like
That's
that.
it.
Something like that.
And you can listen to us wherever you want to listen to a podcast. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please go to our site on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating and a cute little review. And we will talk about you on air, making you hashtag Housebears famous. Oh.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
It's about damn time
Are we testing?
to record this test.
Test, test, test. Every day's a test.
Tell me about it.